what's next for Israel's judicial system.
So let's get to it. What is next for Israel's judicial system? As always, we begin with our quick fire round, 30 seconds each to lay out your initial stance on the matter, and we'll pick up the conversation from there. So Oren Kessler, please take the lead. Your 30 seconds are on.
Well, if the question is where are we headed from here, I think there is a fairly broad consensus in this country, not shared by everyone, of course, but that there is room to make changes to the judicial system in this country. But I think there's perhaps an equally broad consensus, or certainly a very wide one, that this may not be it. So I think there's a certain, if there's any common ground among Israelis or among a majority of Israelis, it's that perhaps something should be done about the judicial system, but maybe not this one.
Okay, Ellie Hochberg. I'll use this remark as a segue to my question to Mr. Kessler here. Speaking of Dudi Amsalem and his what is now famous/infamous Rolex speech, blaming protesters for all being with a wealthy background. So my question to you, Oren, is it really about the judiciary and democracy, or are we talking about the same old, ancient racial/political demons all over again?
I think there's a certain proportion of the opponents of these judicial reforms, and a certain proportion of those who are hitting the streets who simply don't like Netanyahu. They don't like his politics. They may be on the left and they don't like the right. That does exist, but I think it's hard to ignore that there are a significant amount of right-wing voices, certainly right-of-center voices, who are against this judicial reform. I'm thinking of here in this country, we had Michael Oren, for example, came out, the former ambassador to Washington,
yes,
came out
and
against
a regular
it.
Here.
Yoram Cohen, the former Netanyahu-appointed former head of the Shin Bet, came out against it. Alan Dershowitz in the U.S., who is a longtime friend of Netanyahu and a stalwart supporter of Israel, came out against it. So I don't think, just wrapping up here, I don't think it can be simply boiled down to a matter of right versus left.
Ellie, please.
Yeah, I want to ask him about Alan Dershowitz. Alan Dershowitz said out loud and very clear that Netanyahu is under unfair trial. How come people like you did not mention that? And by the way, I disagree completely with Alan Dershowitz, but I can respect him.
Well, I'm certainly not a spokesperson for Alan Dershowitz, and I disagree with Alan Dershowitz on many things, but I did listen to an interview with him just recently in which he expresses his support for Netanyahu personally, but says that, and makes the point that you just made, that he thinks the cases against Netanyahu are essentially unjust, inflated, and yet that he thinks Netanyahu is wrong on this count, on the judicial reforms.
Yeah, there appears to be some sort